San Francisco 49ers go off winning against an NFC West rival, and now they get to go on the road against another NFC West rival. They will be traveling to the Arizona Cardinals, and I I'm just want to say I'm very proud of the Cardinals team this year. I know that's not exactly the type of compliment that NFL teams, they don't really care about proudness. They just want to see W's. But you guys have played tremendously well. And even to the last time that we saw the 49ers and Cardinals play, it was a good game. They went back and forth. Different quarterback that was going on there with Josh Dobbs. But in general, though, they fought hard against the 49ers team. And I'm curious to watch this game for a couple of reasons. One, just to watch Kyle Shanahan's offense is just it's like music, it just flows so nicely, just good poetry, good rhythm all the way around. Any other English compliment I can try and give them in such a horrible way. But then defensively, though, they play such an aggressive, hard-nosed football against all these teams. Like, they give every single offense fits. The Cowboys offense, now, of course, it was earlier in the season, dominated the Eagles offense as well. Not too many teams have really done much of anything against 49ers defense. They're one of the tops in the league. But with the Cardinals, I'm going to be very curious to see how Kyler Murray does against them, how they do against how the receiving core, just how the Arizona offense does, because they have a kind of a resurgence, I would say, since Kyler Murray's come in. It's going to be very unique to see how they finish the season. It's almost kind of like a Deshaun Watson, Cleveland Browns-esque, trying to get a rhythm going into the next season. What are your overall thoughts on this game and on the both teams, like their overall performance and your expectations as we wind down the season?
Well, the 49ers right now, they're in such a rhythm. They're just absolutely drumming other top contenders in the NFC. And as much as I really want the Cardinals to come out and be competitive, coming off a bye week, they did look good against Pittsburgh, but they were kind of playing in this monsoon, sloppy, wet mess. And I think that they, as always, have just been putting out more effort than teams that they're playing against this year. And sadly, I just don't think that's going to be enough this week as it was a couple weeks ago against the Steelers. This 49ers team is going on all cylinders. Deebo Samuel, I mean, I know Brock Purdy is in MVP contention, and as I've said before, I slightly disagree with that. Deebo Samuel is a freaking monster, and he, to me, is the heart and soul of this offense. And I think it'll be really interesting to see kind of what ends up happening with that MVP race. But anyways, the Cardinals, I think it's been a good year for them. They've found out a lot of good pieces. They definitely played harder than any team, I think, this year, and they're 3-10. And the good news for them is I don't think Kyler Murray is going anywhere. I think they have their guy in Kyler Murray. They're going to want to move forward with him, and then from there they can go they drafted Paris Johnson last year. They should be in prime position to get Marvin Harrison Jr. If they want to really solidify this offensive line, they can get Olu Fashanu or Joe Alt, and then they still have I think it'd probably be around 18 in the draft from the trade last year. And so like that, they should have a really good opportunity to, I don't know, go worst to first, just because they're in a division with the 49ers, the Seahawks, even the Rams. I think are really good, and that'll be tough for them to compete next year. But still, like, they could dramatically improve this team in a year.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that all starts with bringing back Kyler Murray, which he's shown he deserves. So with that, the 49ers, they're in rhythm right now. I think the biggest thing for them is just to stay in rhythm and continue this absolute drumming of teams that they've put on over the past 3 or 4 weeks. So
now the 49ers, their biggest thing is just stay healthy and then just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, I don't think there's not really too much I feel right now that can slow down this offense outside of just injuries. That's the only thing, honestly, we've seen them that stopped them ever since Brock Purdy's taken over as the quarterback. It's just been the injury bug. So with the Cardinals, this is probably, especially since we started this YouTube channel, this vlog, the offseason work, the prep work, like the opinionating, like trying to figure out what teams might do, what they should do. It's my favorite part, and when the Cardinals traded back with the Houston Texans last year and got the extra pick. I just loved that decision. And then traded up for very little, in my opinion, with how much then they'd gotten in return for Paris Johnson Jr., best offensive tackle in the class last year. And I love that as well than the trade with the Texans, still able to keep this first-round pick. Depending on how the Texans fall, I know C.J. Stroud's in concussion protocol. They're starting to get some major injuries in the receiving room. But you're right. That could potentially keep falling down to maybe getting closer to the top 10. They could potentially even get more first-round picks based off that trade that they made last year, which would be huge for that team and just keep building, just keep getting good talent around them. But also that being said, though, if you're still picking second or third, I mean, imagine Marvin Harrison Jr. with Kyler Murray in this offense. Like, that would be insane. And then there's still a bunch of other good receivers, other good tight ends.
I was gonna say, even if let's say like they like Marvin Harrison, like they love Marvin Harrison Jr., but then they also love Brock Bowers. Like, all right, well, you could go from 3 to 6 or 7, accumulate another first round pick this year or next year, and then get Brock Bowers. You still have an opportunity at a tackle. Like, I don't think you pass up the opportunity to get Marvin Harrison Jr. But I'm just saying the options are endless.
Well, I'll just say this now. They do have Trey McBride, who is a young tight end. He's actually their leading receiver as of right now with 610 yards. That's
is he
not
better than Brock Bowers.
Oh, no. But I think that Marvin Harrison Jr. is way better than Brock Bowers, is better than Trey McBride. Then Marvin Harrison Jr. is better than Marquise Brown, Michael Wilson, Rondell Moore, Greg Dortch. All those guys combined. Like,
Marvin Harrison Jr. is like all those guys put into one player.
He is instantly your number one receiver on that team, like on the depth chart, hands down. Don't get me wrong, if you have the opportunity, and that's where I actually like if the Texans kept falling enough, well, to see maybe they could trade up and go get Brock Bowers. Like imagine Marvin Harrison Jr. with Brock Bowers on the same offense. Holy cow! And then you have Kyler Murray in the backfield. That'd be absolutely insane. And then even into potential running back as well. That they get like a Trayvon Henderson because James Conner is getting a little up there in age, but that's a separate conversation as well. Actually, how old is it? Yeah, he's 28 here according to Pro Football Reference as of right now. So let's get on to our picks though. Here, it's fun to look at both these teams for the exact opposite reason. They're both at the exact opposite spectrum, so to say.
Yeah,
like one's in for Super Bowls and one's clearly rebuilding, but so far, I like the pieces that the Cardinals have. So let's get to our predictions. But before we do that, if you have not already, like, subscribe, and ring the bell to get notified of when we create new content. Right tonight, we have one final goal for the season, and that is get to 2,333 subscribers. A reason why it's that obscure number is because if we hit that number, we would have gotten 2,000 unique subscribers in this calendar year. Couldn't believe that we could actually possibly do that. So, but with your help, that would be phenomenal. So, like, subscribe, and help us reach our goal. And Ryan, who do you have winning this game and why?
San Francisco 49ers. They're the better team. They're just absolutely drumming the competition right now. Yes. So I'm going to take this time to address people who were in the comments last week after I said that Brock Bowers is
or Brock Purdy, you mean?
Brock Purdy is the weak link of this 49ers offense. People took that as me saying Brock Purdy was bad. That is not true at all. Okay, Brock Purdy is playing very well. I don't think he should be an MVP candidate. He's not even the best. I would make an argument he's not even the second, or you could argue Brandon Ayuk is a better football player than Brock Purdy right now. But Trent Williams and Deebo Samuel are two of the best players at their position. They're two of the best football players in the National Football League. And they have just as big of an impact on this offense than Brock Purdy does. And that, to me, says more about the other two guys than anything about Brock Purdy, just because this offense is immensely talented. And he has the best supporting cast in the entire NFL. The only other ones that I think even come close are Philly with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and that offensive line, and then Dallas with CeeDee Lamb, Brandon Cooks, and then that offensive line as well. Like I honestly cannot think of another wide receiving group that has accomplished and is as good as this San Francisco team. Mm-hmm. So, and then like inside the division, I think you have Seattle and LA, but I would much prefer CMC Actually, that was another guy I left out who I think is probably a better football player than Brock Purdy. So
Yeah. So what you're
anyways,
saying is what I'm hearing is Brock Purdy's one of the worst quarterbacks in the league.
no. I will make an argument. He probably has one of the easiest jobs in the league.
Yeah. No.
Yeah.
I'm just busting your chops. I can agree with that. Like, it definitely
Yeah.
is the uh, skill position players around you. I mean, there's that argument about Troy Aikman that he shouldn't be a Hall of Famer just because of it's like when you're playing with Emmitt Smith at offensive line, Michael Irvin, you got Deion Sanders as well on your team. It is, there's a lot of extra benefits that
Yeah.
you're getting from just being the guy that happens to hand the ball off. But that being said, though, there's even still with Brock Purdy, like, well, who did he throw it? Did he throw it to Ayuk? I think it was Ayuk. But there was a play. He was rolling to his left. He's right-handed. He's rolling to his left. And the defender was coming at him, and the cornerback ran off of Ayuk. And then he just turned his body and had like a Patrick Mahomes-esque type throw. 30
Yeah.
yards little flick. And it was just such an impressive throw. And I was even thinking, like, how many other quarterbacks in the league can make that throw happen? So he really is like to say he's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, maybe that's an exaggeration because there's so many good quarterbacks in the league, especially too on the AFC side. But he's one of the top quarterbacks in the NFC.
Yeah, I think you could make an argument he is in the 8 to 10 range in like the top 10 quarterbacks. But like I think like you look at Justin Herbert, Trevor Lawrence, Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes, Jalen Hurts, Tua is playing at
Russell
that
Wilson.
level. Yeah, no. I have to sit down and think about this, but like he's not at that level.
I mean, like I would take him over every quarterback in the NFC South. I would take him over Sam Howell. Tommy DeVito just won for the Giants. It'd be a tough decision, but I would take him over Tommy DeVito with the New York Giants. So that's those teams right there. NFC West, I'd take him over Geno Smith. I think you'd have a fun argument with Matt Stafford and Kyler Murray.
Well,
I
think if you take age out of the question, I think Matt Stafford is a better quarterback, but he's 36 right now. 30.
That's a fair
30.
man. Imagine this offense with Matt Stafford. Like not to take anything
away
from Brock Purdy.
Yeah.
But like especially prime Matt Stafford. He'd be considered one of the best. I mean, because he was on so many awful Lions teams.
Oh yeah.
If Stafford was on this 49ers team, he would be one of the best quarterbacks.
Kyler Murray from when he was an MVP candidate, I think you have to give it to Brock Purdy just because of the recent performances. Like when Kyler Murray was an MVP candidate, I mean, he was up there in the conversation for top 5 quarterback in the league as well.
Maybe. Yeah. I'd take him over Love. I'd take him over Fields. I'd take him over Goff. So honestly, actually in the NFC, I wouldn't take him over Hurts. That's just me personally.
Dak, maybe. No, I don't know. That's close to me.
We're seeing prime Dak now. And I know I'm completely self-aware though that the Niners absolutely stomped both those quarterbacks.
No, I agree. But like you have to think of And so like I just think it's an interesting debate because he has the most innovative offensive mind. He has Deebo Samuel, who's easily a top 5 wide receiver in the league. He has Christian McCaffrey, who is far and away the best running back in the NFL right now. And then Trent Williams is a Hall of Fame left tackle. Like one of the best left tackles we've ever seen do it. And he has all of those guys in their prime at his disposal. And so like I just think that this argument that Brock Purdy is this like elite quarterback because look at what he's doing is like, yes, I agree. He is making very good plays and he's hitting all the right buttons. It helps that you're throwing to wide open wide receivers. You're playing against minimum coverage because teams have to respect your run game because you have one of the top running offenses in the league. So like I'm just saying that the fact he's an MVP candidate, I think says more about the team that he's on than like all the things that he is doing.
Yeah.
Lamar Jackson, I would take over Brock Purdy. That's another one. Joe Burrow.
I would take Jackson over him. I would take Herbert over him. I would take Mahomes over him. I would take Lawrence over him. I would take Burrow over him. Kenny Pickett, no. Deshaun Watson, no. Joe Flacco is MVP candidate. I'm just joking too. I'm curious to see if there's anyone that actually gets to this point in the video, if they're still watching, if they think I'm serious with some of the names I said.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, if we're just going through, and then East, I would take him over Tua. I would take Brock Purdy over Tua.
But to me, I think that's a very similar argument, though. You look at Tua before and after Tyreek Hill, and right now Tua is also an MVP candidate, and I also don't think that Tua is the best football player on his team. I think Tyreek Hill is a better football player in respect to their position.
Yeah. Oh,
like
no, I can agree with that. Tyreek Hill is the heart and soul of
that offense. He's what makes it click. We saw what happened tonight when he missed
about half the game. I would say,
yeah,
over half the game. Yeah, and they didn't score an offensive touchdown until I think it was the muff punt. Actually, was when they scored their offensive touchdown. So they were inside the
10. So I think that's another like similar case scenario. Ironically, both run the Shanahan system.
Yeah.
So, and it looks like the Dolphins are going to do their best to blow this game.
Yeah, and actually, it's funny too. And I'll say.
Oh, you're picking the Cardinals, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, we never actually got to your pick.
Fly, Cardinals, fly.
Yeah.
Niners. But actually, it's funny too. Send us video ideas for off-season content that you want to see. But actually, I just wrote that down. Where does Brock Purdy rank in the NFL? So I'll add that. I'll add that in to our videos.
I just think
Henry a Hall of Famer?
It's an interesting debate because, like, yes, he's making great plays, but he also has these like best in the league playmakers around him. So, and we didn't even talk about Brandon Ayuk today in any of that conversation, who is also going to be 1,000-yard receiver this year. Oh no, I'm sorry, he already is. like it's nuts what they've put together over there in San Francisco. So let's go ahead and wrap up this video, whatever this was. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe and help Tyler and I reach that goal of getting to 2,333 subscribers. That would put us at 2,000 subscribers in a calendar year, and we'd very much appreciate that. Leave a comment down below on how much you think the San Francisco 49ers are going to win by. Think it's going to be a 1-score, 2-score, 3-score, maybe even a 4-score game. Who knows? This could get out of hand with the way the 49ers are playing. Other than that, we will see you guys next time.